Yesterday's date, April 22nd, was Earth Day. Earth Day is a day in which people all around the world spread awareness about the importance of the environment and what we can do to help protect the planet we live on. This sounds like a great idea to me, since I want to live a long, healthy life on a highly sustainable planet, as I assume you all do too. But what's a way that we can both help save the environment and our bodies at the same time? Well, that leads me to my main proposition, that the consumption of animal products has harmful effects on people in the world around us. The definition of animal products is any part of an animal's body used for human consumption, as well as any material derived from an animal's body. My first main point is that eating meat and animal products has a harmful effect on the environment. It is important to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases so we can prevent global warming and keep our planet safe and sustainable. The impact of global warming is a huge problem, and many plants are not going to be able to keep growing as rapidly in these increasing temperatures. Sea levels are rising, and this means that flooding is more prominent, as well as other freak weather incidents such as hurricanes. Becoming more and more likely to occur, this is not very good for our environment. In addition, the higher level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere disrupts the ocean's chemistry, and this makes it more difficult to sustain life. According to the United Nations Environment Program, raising livestock for food alone uses up 18% of global greenhouse gases, and the amount of greenhouse gases used to produce just 1 pound of hamburger meat is equivalent to driving a small car 20 miles. Not only is raising livestock for human consumption dangerous to the atmosphere, it is harming our Earth's soil as well. Due to overgrazing, the Natural Resources Defense Council has stated that 85% of U.S. land used for feeding livestock is unsustainable for the native plants and animals, and has played a role in 171 species becoming listed on the endangered species list. In June 2010, the United Nations Environment Program stated that a worldwide diet change away from animal products is necessary to stop the worst effects of global climate change. We only get one planet Earth, so we might as well do everything in our best interest to keep it safe, healthy, and sustainable for life. Now, living a healthy life doesn't only depend on the environment we live in. It also depends greatly on the food we eat and how we treat our body. This leads me to my second claim. Cutting out animal products has a beneficial effect on one's health. Right now, according to the World Bank, the United States has approximately the life expectancy of 78 years old and is on the verge of decreasing due to the obesity epidemic our nation is currently facing. As noted from the American Heart Association, 70% of Americans are overweight and obese, which puts both their life expectancy and quality of life in a great danger. A good way to reduce these health risks is to eliminate animal products from one's diet. Researchers at Loma Linda University of California have concluded from a study that people who refrain from eating animal products are likely to live at 9.5 to 6.1 years longer than the average meat eater. Vegans are typically 30 pounds leaner and less likely to suffer from chronic illnesses as opposed to their meat-eating counterparts. In 2012, a study conducted by Harvard School of Public Health came to the conclusion that those who eat red and processed meat are at a much greater risk of developing diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, as opposed to the other participants in the study. Those who ate no amount of animal byproducts whatsoever were at the lowest risk of dying at a young age, since they got their protein from nuts and plant-based sources. This is because meat, eggs, and dairy products are all high in saturated fat as well as artery-clogging cholesterol, while vegan food is typically cholesterol-free and low in saturated fat content and high in fiber, as well as the other necessary nutrients that we need in our bodies and cancer-fighting phytochemicals. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has concluded that a diet free of meat helps build healthy bones more effectively, since vegetarians consume more calcium than meat eaters. Meat contains high renal acid, which the human body has to neutralize by leaching calcium from the bones, which is then passed into urine and lost. However, the consumption of calcium through tofu and dark leafy greens provides all of the necessary calcium, and no amount is lost that way. Some people may argue that vitamin B12 is necessary, which I agree it is, and that it is only found in animal products, but that part is not true. By taking a vitamin B12 supplement or eating foods that are enriched in this nutrient is just as beneficial as maintaining it any other way. To stop eating animal products is a win-win situation for everyone. The Earth's atmosphere would become less damaged from the burning fossil fuels, our oceans and soil will remain more sustainable for life, and our own personal health is more likely to thrive and prevent the risk of many detrimental diseases. Every amount of effort helps in keeping our planet healthy as well as our bodies, which is why I conclude that the consumption of animal products has a negative effect on humans in the world around us. Thank you.
All right, Hannah, the opening I thought was nice and effective. You got an attention device that makes reference to Earth Day. That makes it a little bit more unique and interesting. You identify the proposition very clearly at the beginning. There's not really a layout of what the secondary points are going to be at the beginning of the speech that's as clear as it ought to be. However, when you get to those individual points in the body of the speech, they're labeled pretty effectively, and I thought you did a good job on that. On the global warming issues and the environmental issues, I think there are a whole lot of assumptions built into this that probably represent a commitment of time that would be hard to be consistent and get through if you were going to be thorough about it. As it is, you're kind of giving us the thumbnail links on this, and I think that that might be a little bit problematic. I mean, based on the reasoning that you're talking about here, there are a whole bunch of things that might be contradictory or problematic for your argument. For instance, if we're all that worried about global warming, we should be happy that people are eating meat and dying earlier because people are a main source of carbon dioxide, and we're the ones who use up all of those fossil fuels and that sort of thing. So it's almost contradictory in that particular point. I do think that you had some good evidence about how the production of meats contributes to global warming. You've got that one statistic about the percentage of global warming stuff that's going on there. Like I said, I think there are some controversies on that issue that would require a little bit more time and energy on your part and might make the speech a little bit more difficult to fit in. The transition to the second point was really clear. Same kind of thing here. You got a whole variety of issues that you're getting into. There are a couple of kind of preemptive rebuttal type arguments built in here. I understand what you're trying to do, set the groundwork so that things are not going to be vulnerable to attack, but I think you need to do a little bit more building up of the arguments that are problematic about meat consumption before you argue why decreasing meat consumption is not going to be a bad thing. I think you could spend a little bit more time on that. On the presentation issues, I'll tell you what, it sounds like you're in a rush from the beginning. I do like your energy level, that helps, but you're reading the whole time. The fact of the matter is that the reading is not as big a distraction as it could be because of how you read it. You've got a lot of variety in your voice. You've got a lot of passion and emphasis when you're speaking, and that compensates a lot. But I do think that you neglect the audience at your risk and decrease the chance that people are going to be affected by the argument you're presenting. All right.